Hi Luke, it's great to hear from you again. I took a look at your video once again, and yeah, it looks good. But there's a few things that I want to point out for you, so hopefully it can help you for the future. A few minor details, a few technical and a few general ones. But in terms of your forehand, I took a look at it, and there's some things I don't like. But yeah, hear me out and let me know what you think. Number one is your forehand has a great motion when it goes from here on forward, but when you're preparing for it, there's a few things that I think you should change in order for you to get a more powerful, more kind of balanced forehand. Just in general, I think forehands need to look smooth and need to have a great rhythm for them to work. Your forehand, when you're hitting it, it kind of breaks down into 2 or 3 moves. You have a pretty Western grip, which causes you to add a lot of spin on the ball, which is great. But if you can fix this, I think you're going to have a much better forehand. And what do I mean by that is, when you're hitting a forehand, you have a Western grip here. So from here, you take the racket back, and then it drops, and then you're hitting the ball. So it kind of, you're breaking it into 2 or 3 moves. So it's 1 goes low, it's 1 goes high, then goes low, and then you're hitting it. What this doesn't help you do is get a lot of power and momentum. You're losing so much momentum from that breakdown that it doesn't help you hit the ball so hard. If you can kind of make it look like as 1, it will go kind of around the world and then hit it around the clock if you like, because my forehand looks something like this. From here, I take it back, and then I take it forward. I take it back, and then I take it forward. So if you can see, it looks like this, something like that. But as I'm hitting it, it doesn't stop. What you do is, if I do what you do with my forehand, it will look like this. You go up, and I would go high, I would go low, and then I would hit it. So it kind of 2, 3 moves, which loses a lot of power. I think if you can use your left arm to guide the racket and release a little bit later, this is going to cause you to come in the preparing position here. So from here, I'm pushing my right arm into taking pushing my left arm with my right to take it back. Then from here, I'm hitting it straight. What you do is you're doing 1, 2, 3. And I hope that makes sense to you. I mean, I could see it clearly from the back of the video, but yeah, I think this doesn't help you one bit, because you have such a good range of motion here, because you can get a lot of acceleration from the forehand, but because you're breaking your forehand down into 3 moves, you're losing a lot of power. The other thing I wanted to tell you is, because you're breaking the move, because you're losing rhythm and momentum, you don't end up going forward a lot of times. So from here, because you're playing open stance for the most part, which I don't really have a problem with, but I think at that level, you need to force yourself to play more close stance, because it's going to help you with everything, including the move and transferring the power from the back to the front. If you're playing open stance, I mean, I guess it's fine. If it suits you, no problem. But one thing I would add is, this is me doing close stance, okay? And this is me doing open stance. This shoulder should always be facing the court that you're hitting to. You shouldn't have your chest facing the court at any time whatsoever. The only time is if I'm hitting open stance, and then I'm hitting it here, and then I'm finishing. So you shouldn't be waiting here, because your chest is facing straight to the court, and then inevitably the ball is going to go way up or way down below, because you have no use of shoulders and hips to keep you there. So if you're hitting close stance, it should look something like that. Open stance, it should always look like that as well, because the shoulder shouldn't ever be removed from facing the court. I think that's a big weakness, that people think open stance, okay, I'm here and I'm doing this, just like Rafa, because Rafa can get away with it because he's a crazy athlete, so he doesn't care, and he's so strong and he can get away with it. But us mortals, we can't get away with it. So, and then the third thing that I saw that needs a little bit of improvement is, don't get out of the shot before you finish the shot. I've seen you play shots, and before you even finish the move, you're moving to the next shot as if that shot was good. You should always try to finish the shot properly with the footwork, finishing the technique, hitting the ball straight up, finishing the shoulder, and finishing up the step, and then recovering and moving to the next shot. You should never kind of finish here and then move away from the shot before you finish it, because that's gonna cause, first of all, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. Second of all, you're gonna have less time to recover because your recovery is not gonna be properly done. Plus, you're gonna lose a lot of power and momentum on your previous shot that you just played. So I think focusing on close stance will help you. And a rule of thumb, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but if it's shoulder height and below, force yourself to do close stance. It's gonna help you a lot. If it's shoulder height and above, I think open stance is fine, but make sure you keep that shoulder facing the court all the time. Because if your legs will fail you, your shoulders will not, and hips will help you. Because from here, you can always turn the shoulders and give this shot and momentum from here. You know, if you don't have the legs to push from back here, forward, which I'm using my legs. If it's open stance here, I can use my shoulders and then hitting my shot using my shoulders and hips. You don't necessarily always need the legs, but at that level, I think it's very important to engage them. Obviously, not everyone has the footwork of Rafa Nadal or Novak Djokovic, but we can try to get away with a few other minor details. But yeah, I think these are the 3-4 takeaways you should take with you. One is try to have the forehand simplified and have it as one move. Don't break it down into 1, 2, and then 3. Have it smoother and try to have a one. I think one drill you can do is if you can have somebody drop balls in front of you, so you're here and then you're opening up and then somebody's dropping the ball here and then you're just simply hitting it. Over a period of time, you're gonna get used to this circle movement. It's gonna be smoother. The other thing is have close stance, and if it's open stance, try to have the shoulder in front and always finish the shot before you move on to the next. But I hope I covered you. Forehand looks good, backhand also looks good, and I hope the footwork is getting better, and I hope this helps you improve your tennis. Have a good one.